Hey, welcome to How to Draft plate number 32. So today we're going to show you guys the ins and outs of how to make some of this round, three-dimensional, and how to make it go back. This is the hard part. When you see this, I think you'll be shocked at how easy it is. I think you'll be pretty surprised. So this is the drawing that we're doing, and you notice it kind of looks like a pill with two circles through it. I don't know what to describe it. It's some kind of part. And so we're going to show you kind of how we're going to get started on that. So first thing I've done is I have squared up a piece of paper, which was in one of the first videos of how to get started with drafting. And so I have taped down my paper parallel to my T-square. And I'm using a wooden T-square here instead of a clear plastic one or one of the ones that we made for you guys. I had this one at home, so we're going to use it because I'm here in my shop at home working. So this is my T-square. And again, I squared up the piece of paper parallel to my T-square so that the paper and the T-square are parallel. I kind of cheated a little bit. If you look really closely, yesterday I drew a bunch of borders, nameplates, and Lucky L on a paper, and then I photocopied it. And so then I'm just taping these down as I do all these samples. So if it's not exact or if it looks a little light in color, that's because it's a photocopy. So one thing I always tell kids, if you start a project one day and need to finish it the next day, so you need to re-square up a piece of paper, always square it up off of something you drew the day before, not the edge of the paper, okay? So the first time you square up a piece of paper, you have no choice but to use the bottom or the top of the paper to tape it down parallel to your T-square. After you start drawing, we want to make sure if we are off a little bit the first day, we stay the same amount off so everything is square on our paper. And so we're going to use the top of our nameplate to re-square up our paper. So I have my T-square here, and I brought it down, and I actually used the top line of my nameplate, and I squared it up. I don't have any drafting tape. All I had was this blue painter's tape at home, so we're going to use that to hold our paper down. So the things you're going to need for this drawing, besides a T-square and a flat board to draft at or a table, you're going to need a scale, obviously, to do a little measuring. So there's my scale. You're going to need a triangle. So here's my triangle. This is a 45, 45, 90. I wish I had a colored triangle so you could see it, and it looks better and didn't just reflect the light. I'm also going to need a circle template, which is right there, and that is a standard circle template, and make sure you don't have a metric one. And then you're going to need a compass as well. And last but not least, you are going to need a pencil. So those are all the tools that we're going to need to get started on drawing up our sign. Okay, so let me get all this stuff off of here and tell you how we're going to get started here. So I got my T-square, got my scale. Real quick, I'm going to have you take a look at this drawing here. You can kind of see my mouse there. I wish I could make my mouse much bigger. But the bottom of the Lucky L is right here, across the bottom, and then the side of the Lucky L is right here. And so what we need to figure out is where to start drawing this. Well, what I will give you as a hint is these crosses is the center of where everything starts. So we should place those crosses on the paper first. So from the bottom of our Lucky L up to the middle of our crosses, or this line running through the center of those circles, is the same distance from here to here as it is from there to there, which means the distance from here to here is all the same, and that's 1 1/4. So on my paper, from my bottom border, I'm going to come up 1 1/4, and I'm going to draw a very light line, okay? And this is going to be that center line. Well, I don't even know if you can see that. I might have to darken that up just a little bit so you can see it. I can always erase it later. So that is the center line of my two circles. Now I need to figure out how far it is from here, or the Lucky L, into the center of the circle. And again, if we go back to the logic that from here to here and here to here and here to here are all the same, if they don't notate that that's different, we know this is the same on this side. So now I'm going to come over here 1 1/4 and draw a vertical line. So I'm taking my T-square and triangle, and for my Lucky L, I've now gone over 1 1/4 and up 1 1/4 and drawn that cross. Okay, so the next thing is we need to do that other vertical line, which is right here. Well, that's pretty easy, pretty straightforward. It says it's 1 1/2, so I'm going to go over 1 1/2 and draw me a little line here, and again a nice light line. And that's kind of the setup for getting started, okay? So this might be a better view here. I have my lucky L down here, and I went up 1 1/4, I went in 1 1/4, and drew this first vertical line. Then I went over 1 1/2 and drew a second vertical line. Okay, so that's pretty straightforward. Hey, now I'm going to set my compass and I'm going to draw those the round pieces on each end, these half circles, if you will. We'll get those drawn up, these half circles. And so the way this is going to look is I'm going to take my compass, I'm going to set it to 1 1/4 because we're dealing in radius. So the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to loosen up this bolt just a little bit so that I can adjust this open and close with one hand. I'm going to put the compass, the stabby point at 0, and then I'm going to set the sharp part of the compass at 1 1/4. So I'm going to take my time, make sure I get this right. That's 1 1/4. Now, I could do it that way on the scale, or guess what else I could do? If I put my stabby point on that cross there, it should touch my nameplate or my lucky L on two sides, okay? And it does. So for that first arch, and I know kids when they use compasses, they hold them up here and twist. I do it a little differently. I'm going to put this down here. I'm going to lean the compass forward a little bit, and I'm going to rotate it as it moves forward. Now, I am left-handed, so sometimes it's a little weird. I did that one with my right hand, and now I'm going to do this with my left hand, and voila, I've drawn those two round ends. Now, real simply, I'm going to connect those two at their tangent, or their highest point up here, and at the lowest point down here, which is the lucky L. Okay, and now I have the shape, the starting shape of the front view. We do need to put some circles in the middle here, but we're going to come back and do that in a little bit. Now, I've been taught you on the H and all those other drawings that you've done that if you want to make something 3D, you're always going to go up and to the right diagonally. Well, we're going to do the same thing here. And to start this, we're going to go to the middle of the cross because everything we're doing is coming off the center of those crosses, correct? I mean, basically the whole drawing is based off of those. And so now I need to know how thick or how far back does this go. And so we need to know this distance here, and right there it says 1 1/2. So we're going to go back 1 1/2. So I'm going to take my scale, and from the center of each cross, I'm going to measure back 1 1/2 and put a mark. And we're going to do that from both of them. And this might confuse you a little bit. Notice this one is just outside the shape, and this one is just inside the shape, and that's how it's supposed to work. Now, I didn't play with the compass. I didn't readjust it. I didn't do anything with it because I'm not a 7th or 8th grader. I just set it aside because this is still set to 1 1/4, which is what we need, right? So now I'm going to go up to my line that's 1 1/2 inches out, and I'm going to draw part of a circle here, and I'm going to go just a little bit more than 3/4 of a circle. Okay? All right. And then I'm going to do the same thing on my other line. I'm going to go back 1 1/2, and the compass still set to 1 1/4. I'm going to draw another circle. This time it's more like a little over 1/4 of a circle. Okay? Can you see that? All right, so now we're going to add some tangents. We're going to zoom in a little bit here. We're going to take that shape and really quickly, using the same triangle we used to draw that diagonal line and that diagonal line, we're going to come over here to the very edge with our T-square. And if we've done this correctly, our T-square and triangle, we should be able to draw a tangent line down here that touches the very outside edges of those two circles. And we're going to do the same thing up here. The very outside edges of those two circles. Whoops, I didn't have my T-square placed very well here. Okay, so it looks a little gummy over there. And then at the very top, we're going to catch the very top of these two circles as it goes across. Okay, now let's do a little bit of erasing. So we're going to get rid of this here, and we're going to get rid of this here. And we're going to get rid of that little overlapping circly thing. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and erase those diagonal lines. I drew those super light because they need to go away. All right. And the cross that's sticking up through my top portion of it, I can get rid of that. I can erase the lucky L at this point. We're going to start cleaning things up here. And notice I still have these crosses here. We're not quite done yet, so I'm going to get rid of this lucky L over here. And again, I'll go back and clean this up some more when we're done here. But we're done with the lucky L. The rest of this is unused, so we're going to erase it. And when I'm done and not recording, I'll take some time to clean this up for you so it makes more sense, okay? All right, so now we still have two circles to put there. And if you look on the drawing, it says that those two are, what are they? They are, let me get a better view here. Each of those circles is 0.875 diameter, which is 7/8 diameter, which is a really small hole to make with a compass. You can do it, but they're kind of hard. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my compass here, or my circle template, and I'm going to flip it over so I can see which one is 7/8, 1/2, 9/16, 5/8. We're coming around the horn here. 7/8 is right here. So I'm going to take my 7/8 circle. Okay. Oops, I've got the wrong camera view on, so you guys can't even see what I'm doing here. So this is my 7/8 circle right here. And I don't know if you can see this if I put it down, but there are 4 black tick marks on my circle template. And I'm going to take those 4 black marks and I'm going to place them on the center of my cross. So the tick mark up here is lined up with the top of my cross. The tick mark down here is lined up with the bottom. That's lined up with the right, and this is lined up with the left. Lined up, not signed up. And I'm going to take this and just come in here and trace that one. We're going to slide it over here, and we're going to do the same exact thing. Okay, and so now, again, we got some cleanup to do. Make this nice and neat, but you get the general idea. I'm going to go back and darken it up a little bit, and then we got to add the measurements. Don't forget to add the measurements. I'm not going to take the time to walk you through putting those measurements on, but they're going to basically look exactly like they look on the drawing here. I'll come in and I'm going to tell you that from here to here is 1.5. I'll tell you from here to here is 1 1/4 radius. I'll probably bring an arrow up here somewhere or up here somewhere to tell you that the two holes are 7/8 diameter, and then somewhere maybe down here or out to the side I'll tell you that the whole thing is 1.5 inches deep. So that's how you do plate number 32. It's one of the more technical ones. Once you understand how to make something round, three-dimensional, that will transfer to other drafts that you've done. So make sure you fully understand how to do it. So moving forward, you'll be able to do it again and again and again. All right. Hey, have a good day. Hope you enjoyed learning how to draft plate number 32.